All right, and welcome to our next EP podcast. Today we have wonderful Sanju, or do I call you Rani? What exactly is your...
Rani
what do you go
Sanju
by? Yeah.
Mahadeo.
Awesome,
Sanju is just
awesome.
my nickname, but that's the one that gets called the most.
Yeah, the one thing with our Caribbean sort of thing is like we have all these names and it's like
Exactly.
we're called different things. Like for me it's
Everyone calls
Rohan.
it, yeah.
Sometimes people call me Gopal.
Really?
It's so different now that people call me Reza because of the whole brand thing too.
Exactly. Yeah, some people will call, oh, you're Cakes by Sanju. I'm like,
Yeah.
Sanju from Cakes by Sanju. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I've
pretty
heard of
cool.
that. Mhm.
So tell me a bit about yourself. Like where are you from? You're from Brampton here and your
Yes, I
parents
am.
are from...
Guyana. My parents are straight from Guyana. That they're heavy on our culture, so we grew up in like eating our Caribbean like food and going to Guyana, which I really miss. Things like that, especially the parties and you know
yeah.
the Caribbean atmosphere. We definitely love all that.
What's your favorite kind of food?
Oh, that's really hard. I love my curries, crab curry especially.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
my favorite.
So seeing as it's like COVID time as well right now, have you been like working on like cooking a lot of those kind of things as well?
Yikes, not really. I'm more into the pastas with cooking, but mom definitely shows me here and there.
Oh man, for me it's like the roti, the rice, the traditional kind of foods too.
Yes.
But yeah, I know you have your cupcakes as well.
For
You've been
sure.
baking a lot during the time. Yeah.
Lots of baking, cupcakes, cakes, anything.
Yeah. Was that kind of like visiting No Frills and stuff in circumstances?
Oh, I get weird looks when I buy really big boxes of butter. People are like, where are you going with this? I'm like, oh, I have a bakery kind of thing. So it's actually fun. I like going, restocking. It's always fun.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. And you have a brother as well, I know.
Yes,
how have you
I
guys
do.
been keeping busy in the time?
Sean's busy with school. He's keeping busy with that and music, of course. And he bugs me to help me with the business, but I don't know where to let him
Oh,
in.
man.
So that's that.
Yeah, maybe you should give him some stuff to like, pour some sugar in, like
He's
stir
a
it up or
taste
something.
tester. He's like, we don't trust you with the food, but you
Oh
can
my
taste
god.
test.
Taste tester, that's
Him
the
and
best.
Dad, that's their best job. As soon as something comes out the oven, do you have any extra for home?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me I have my sisters and sometimes we shoot together and it's a nice bonding
Nice.
experience
For
for
sure it is, yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's any way that he could contribute to your job maybe in the future?
For sure, he would probably be a good delivery man.
Yeah,
My
for sure. I was
aunts
just
always
thinking
tell
that,
him,
yeah.
he's like, you should go ride your bike and sell her
Yeah.
cupcakes. That might be fun. And for sure, he's good with like helping with like boxing and stuff like that if I ever need that.
Yeah, and how's your school and stuff going? Like what is it you're
Busy.
studying right now?
Right now, I'm studying mostly sciences, so like chem and bio and
Oh,
that
man.
stuff because I want to head into sciences.
Yeah.
Which is really hard online as
For
you
sure.
know, quad master system, less time to learn, and everything is all over the place. But it's there.
Yeah, you were just telling me about your chemistry class where the
Yes.
teacher does the lab and,
And
you're
we
kind
have
of
to just do the work from her lab. So
Oh,
we don't
man.
know what we're doing, but we have to do it anyways, kind of thing.
I remember when I was in high school we had the fetal pig or something and you cut it.
Oh,
And you
she
kinda
did
have
that
to work with
online.
it.
We
Yeah.
had to watch her do that online.
Oh man, there's like the frog as well.
Yeah, we did the frog in class. That was last year.
Yeah. Oh, last year. Okay. So you're in grade 12 right now.
11.
Oh, grade 11. So and how old are you exactly?
16.
16, and you already have your business.
I
That's
do.
really cool. So what's that like with your friends and stuff?
Well, I can tell you that you lose a lot of friends through business because you don't really have that much time for social interaction as you usually do. Like, I'll find myself on my social medias, but not really like the way I used to. Like, I'll definitely be like not be scrolling, but I'll be planning my posts. Like, you'll see me on my phone just archiving a whole bunch of posts, creating captions, just getting ready to post, responding to inquiries. Stuff like that. So a lot of my time goes there, and then I for sure make time for my family and like my immediate friends, but like the ones that like aren't there to like try to understand, like like sometimes they need a little balance, little
gotta have
break.
that, yeah.
It's hard to keep friend groups all the time.
Yeah. So you're also involved with music, not
For
only
sure,
just
for
the
sure.
baking. Tell me a bit about that.
Music keeps me sane. It keeps me going. Music for sure is my one way out. Like if I need a break, I'll do music. Like on Fridays, baking is my busiest day because everything for the weekend. So we're looking at like 7 orders a weekend kind of thing. So Fridays and Friday nights are really busy, but that's when I have vocals class with Devin. So usually when I take my break, it's for vocals class, and then I get back up and then I get going again.
That's really cool to look at music as a break.
It is.
Some people look at it as a chore or like some sort of workload.
It's definitely something I love to do to relax, to keep me going.
Definitely.
It's definitely there.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So tell me a bit about like maybe performing and stuff. Like how has that been?
Performing, there hasn't been much of that because of all the online stuff. But I definitely miss it. I miss concerts.
What was it like
performing.
before?
Oh, it was so fun getting to meet with our our close group, just singing on stage, and then backstage is always so fun. Like, we'll always chill, we'll make jokes, we'll take pictures. I miss those days for sure. It kept us going. Like, it was a nice bonding experience because we all live in different parts of Pickering and Brampton, so whenever we get there, we all meet up,
Yeah.
and it's like a once a month at least we get to see each other, and it was always so nice. And now it's
Yeah.
all virtual, so we miss seeing each other's faces
for sure. I remember growing up, I would do like my piano classes, my tabla classes, and
Yeah.
you know, I would always look forward to that Sunday when I get to go to the temple and do the classes.
Exactly.
You know, you work with
Yeah.
everybody else, and performing was amazing too. I loved going and like, you know, having some sort of challenge to kind of
Exactly.
present. Now
And
it's
an
like
audience.
you can't really do it. There's no
Exactly.
audience except for like Zoom.
For sure.
But it's like it's still the one screen. It doesn't
There's
really
so
feel
many
as authentic.
Zoom
You know?
audiences now,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not the same. Like, you feel like you're singing to yourself. Because
Yeah,
everyone's there,
yeah.
but you only see yourself spotlighted, right? So
Yeah.
it's definitely weird, but
Mhm.
it's there.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna have you featured on a cover with me soon as well,
Yes,
and I'm looking
super
forward to doing
excited.
more down the road too.
For
It's
sure.
it's really cool to like
It is.
kind of reach out to somebody, have them do a part of a song, send it back. You kind of just merge it together. It's just all you
Exactly.
can really do now.
For sure, I agree.
Yeah, that's really cool. So tell me a bit about your business. How was it that you kind of like came about starting it up?
Yikes. So during the summer, as soon as quarantine started, I have all the piping tips and those things around from one of my birthdays where mom actually made my cake. So they were
It
just
always
laying
starts with
around.
mom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mom was like, did you forget who taught you how to bake cake? I was like, no, I know. So mom is the one who taught me how to bake cake, everyone, and she had all the piping tips and everything around. So for her birthday, actually last May, I decided to make her birthday cake.
Mhm.
So it was something super simple, just a normal rose cake, but it was pretty. And Devin saw it, so he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, you're definitely making my birthday cake, but it has to be something music oriented." And I was like, "Yikes, that's kind of scary because you know
Yeah.
he's Devin. I wanted it to be amazing." So for him and Priya, I did both of their birthday cakes, and they were the reason I got into eggless cake.
Yeah.
So they gave me that challenge of eggless cake,
Nice.
and I decided to make that tabla cake for Devin.
Yes,
So
yes. I'll be sure to
that
put a
was-
picture of that on the video here.
For sure.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest accomplishments because I hadn't really, done these kind of things before. I never really.
I remember
baked
seeing that
cakes.
picture. It's like the shape of it, like the string part, like everything you did so eloquently. Like how was that process kind of like?
Tedious.
Yeah.
I did it, and at first, because you start off with a bare cake, and then I tried to put the fondant over it, and my fondant cracked like 3 times. I took
Oh.
it off completely and threw it out and started over. And then I was talking to Anjani and a few of my friends, and I was like, "This isn't working, guys. I'm throwing this cake out. Devin's gonna get a normal
Yeah.
cake. I can't do this." And they were like, "Oh, calm down. Your expectations are too high for yourself. Just chill and try to do it and finish it first, and then we'll see how it goes." So then after doing that, then we realized that, okay, it's starting to look like something. So then I kept going, and eventually it looked like that, and I was like, it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of trial and error process.
Yeah.
For sure. But after that cake, then Devin was like, "You have the talent. I'm gonna push you for sure." So the reason I started a business was definitely because of him. He was the reason. He was like, "You have it, and we have the time. Let's
Awesome.
definitely capitalize
Shout out Mom
on
and
it."
Devin for sure.
For sure.
That's
for sure.
awesome.
And then so we kept working on with that, and then around my birthday time, like around October, I was like, "Okay, I'll make my own birthday cake," which I didn't like at first. I was like, "Mom, why are you making me make my own birthday cake? It's my birthday." And she was like, "It's COVID time, just make your own cake." She's like, "You'll get content too." So I was like, okay. So I practiced making my own cake, and then at that point, Devin's like, "We're making a page." So then we made a page, and then I didn't expect it to go further than a couple orders once in a while, like just a cake here and there kind of thing. And within a few weeks, it blew up for sure. Like around December, I took a little break.
Yeah.
With some personal stuff, so then I didn't really have anything going on, but as soon as I got back up in the middle of January, things picked up. It went
Nice.
from one order every 2 weeks to an order a day kind of thing.
Nice. Wow.
So for sure.
What's your average now?
I would say at least 4 during the week and at least 7 on weekends.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's really, really cool. That's a
Thank
lot
you.
of flour and
It
sugar
is. It
and
definitely is.
eggs for those the ones with
Yes,
the egg.
when we go to the grocery store, it's like buying 5 packs of eggs at a time.
Oh my gosh.
And that's usually just for the week. And then
Yeah.
whenever we see butter on sale, it's like the big boxes that they bring it into the store.
Yeah.
I ask them to just buy one of the big boxes.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then I go to Bulk Barn, and I actually buy my buttercream because it's a process to make it, and I usually don't have the time for that. So
Yes,
I
yes.
buy the buttercream, and they usually sell them in the tub, but you have to scoop it out into your own tubs, and you buy it like that. So I looked into buying their actual tubs that they just supply the store
Yeah.
with, and they were like, "We've never done this before. Are you sure you want to buy a whole tub?" I was like, "For sure." So now I go through one of those tubs every 2 weeks.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's really, really unique, and especially somebody of your age, you don't really see that as
For sure.
often. So hats off to you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. What are some of the challenges that kind of came up with the ingredients maybe, or trying to put together a cake? I know you told me about the fondant cracking, for example.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons I don't usually do fondant cakes, because it's tedious to work with. It's not something I prefer. But for me, getting my hand on making extremely smooth cakes, like, I'm a perfectionist and I like to see things perfect. Like, I don't like seeing a crack. I don't like seeing like something that's not perfect. So when I make my cakes, like, one of the main thing I go for is like a perfectly smooth base. So everything else looks good on top of the base, right? But at first, it's really difficult. It looks easy, like, just, oh, I'm smoothing my cake, but it's not that easy.
It's a process,
for sure. It's really, really tough. But I've started to get my hand on that, and Mom's to help with that as well. So
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. So I'm gonna have one more question for you just after this quick break right here. Alrighty, so we are back with Sanju here. So I have a question for you. I want to know something about your aspirations for life. What are some things that kind of excite you about life? Maybe in the past, the present, maybe something you look forward to the future. What are some kind of things?
Growth. I look forward to growth. Like, for sure, I think that the future, you never know what's coming. So, like, in terms of growing, like, you amaze yourself every day. At least you should. Like, the little things make a huge difference in your life. So personally, like, I like to see, like, how I grow. So, like, if I see myself doing this cake today, and if I'm doing it next week, I want it to be better. Yeah. So I, like, look forward to seeing how I grow as a person and in my business specifically every day, right? So I look forward to growth. But, like, past-wise, I used to think that the things that excite me are like going out, doing things, like seeing
being
things
active,
I like, exactly, things like that. But now for me, it's more me. Like, the things I look forward to is seeing who I become if I achieve all my goals and how I did it, right? Like, I don't want to just sit around and let things come to me. I know awesome. I have to work for it, right? So when I do accomplish it, I know that I put in the work to get there, and that's what I look forward to.
That's really, really good. Like, you never want to remain stagnant at one point.
Exactly.
Always want to be growing, or else if you're just staying at one point, you're doing the same cake over and over and over.
Exactly.
The competition is always going to be there too.
For sure.
What's that like? Like, do you notice any competition around the area? Do you ever get inquiries about that kind of stuff?
Food is huge because everyone loves food.
I see it a lot, especially out of COVID. Like, a lot of people are just starting to do their own kind of things.
For sure. Home businesses are a huge thing now, especially with COVID. So as you know, like, a lot of people do it, but the real issue and the main thing that you have to do is stand out. So like, to be able to have your products have something that can stand out amongst the others. So the way I try to do this is like bringing in more uniqueness, like not just in design, but through me, like incorporating things I know, like that made a difference to me. So I wanted to bring it here. Like, for example, these cupcakes. Like, I was like, Mother's Day is coming up, but how do I make something that's not traditional, right? Like, you don't usually see cupcakes that actually look like roses. They're like a special rose design, right? So using like that and making it into something like this, I thought that was something cool because you don't usually see them.
You see each petal sort of showing on it. Like, you could definitely see the craft and the work you put into it.
For sure. And like things like the rasmalai cupcakes, that's something people have
never
been
heard of that
loving.
Before.
Actually.
I know you had posted that before too.
Sure. I know. It was like an idea. I was looking on Pinterest for things like coming up with like all the Indian celebrations. So it's like I want to incorporate a little bit of culture, a little bit of diversity. So I was like, I don't know how to do this. And then I was looking and I was thinking about rasmalai, and I saw a whole bunch of like ideas with them on Pinterest, but none of them stood out to me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use my own recipe because why not, and just make it work. And it seems to be something that people really, really like.
So do you make the rasmalai itself and you put it in the cupcake, or?
I usually have like the mix, so then I use that, and then I put some of like the actual rasmalai bit inside the cupcakes. Like when you bite it, you have the rasmalai.
That's awesome.
But then I use like the infusion thing, so you have the milk, so you can use it yourself, right? So it's like people can do something with it themselves and have fun with it, right? Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
Thank you.
So what's it like trying to push it through COVID right now?
I thought it was going to get extremely difficult, especially with new lockdown measures. Like, I've had a few people that weren't able to go through with their orders because of COVID. A lot of wedding cakes, actually, that were starting to come to me. But people put down their deposit, and they're like, oh, we still want to go with you. It's just, like, timing-wise, which I understand. Like, I'm super flexible with dates and with, like, changing your orders because, there's nothing better you can do. There's nothing better I can do, right? It's all trying to keep each other safe and stuff. So I have protocols for when people come in to get cakes and in order to order, so.
Oh, for sure. I've heard some really scary stories about like deposits, like people, for example, right now with weddings, like banquet halls, they're trying to book their banquet halls and they're not getting the deposit back because of cancellations. And it's a very humble and sincere thing that you're doing, that you're still able to, flex with them. That's awesome.
Because, it's out of our control. We just want to do whatever we can to make you happy and then for ourselves, right? So you're still providing me business, but I want to make sure you're happy at the end of the day, right? Like, it already sucks that your wedding is canceled, right? But if there's something I can do to make up
Yeah.
for it, I will, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Customer service at its finest, for sure. That's
Thank
amazing. So apart from the cake business and everything, what are some other kind of aspirations you have? Maybe with
Music.
school and music and stuff.
For sure, I want to, make it out there with it. Like, not something as a job, but as a
Yeah.
hobby. I love singing. I love
Yeah.
playing keyboard. It's something that makes me happy. So I want to make sure that no matter where I get in life, that's still
Yeah.
a huge part of my life.
How was it you kind of got into that? when you were
Oh,
little?
for sure. This is a funny story. So we always go to Mandir, right?
Yeah.
My nanny is a pundit.
Uh-huh.
So we grew up doing Hawan all the time. All my sanskars are in this house. And she'd fly down from New York just to do them for
Yeah.
me. And same thing with Sean. So I was always open to it and always part of it. So it was that. And then every Sunday we went to Mandir. So I remember one day at Mandir, I took my Hawan book and I opened it out like a harmonium, like the pump. And when people would sing, I knew all the songs from my head because
Yeah.
I just remembered. So I would sing and pretend I was playing harmonium sitting on the floor and
yeah.
everything. So then mom was like, oh, you like harmonium? I was like, yeah, I want to learn. So this was at me at 6 years old. And then one day she talked to Panda Dave, and she goes all the way back with Panda Dave because they used to learn together back in Guyana.
wow.
So now she asked Panda Dave if, we can get me into music, and he was like, for sure. So I actually started learning on my Hannah Montana keyboard.
Oh.
I had a little toy Hannah Montana
Yeah.
keyboard, which I was obsessed with. I was obsessed with her. I had the guitar, I had the keyboard, and I used to put on shows for my family. I would put on her songs, and I'd grab a mic, and I'd start singing
Yeah.
all her songs. It'd be so funny. I'd be like, sit down, I'm not done yet. So then, for sure, I always loved performing. I always loved singing. And then mom made it permanent for me. She helped me to get in with Panda Dave,
That's
and
awesome,
ever since
yeah.
then, I expanded with Devin, and
Mhm.
it's been since I was 6 years old, and it's something I never want to let go of.
And it wasn't just music, he also mentored you in, the
For
business
sure.
aspect, the entrepreneurial ventures.
Both Panda Dave and Devin have been extremely supportive of my business. They've pushed me for sure. I get very good constructive criticism from them.
Yeah.
Like, I let them try all my products and let them, let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like for eggless cakes, it was them for sure who helped me.
Nice.
So, and that's a huge branch now because not a lot of places offer eggless cakes.
Exactly,
and,
yeah.
The taste has to be there as
Yeah.
well. So
Nowadays
that's
you
the-
have vegan, vegetarian, they're
Exactly.
all, looking for those kinds
Yeah,
of
and
things.
sugar-free,
yeah.
I also do sugar-free
Nice,
too. I've been
yeah.
working with that. It's interesting to work with because I'm like icing and cupcakes and sugar-free. I don't know how to do this, but
Yeah.
it's getting there for sure.
It's quite something.
Yeah.
So another question for you. I have some, what are some beliefs you have regarding motivation? And how do you kind of push yourself towards that?
Well, I believe that the person you are today has to be better than the person you were yesterday.
Nice.
So
nicely
that's
said, yeah.
something that I personally try to do. It's like, if I know something didn't work for me, I'm not going to continue doing it. I need to find a new way to do it. So like, for example, like my routines, like I'm used to just like waking up in the morning for school now and like, not feeling the motivation to go on online school because, just sitting in front of a laptop every day, you miss the actual like, confrontation with people, stuff like that, right? So
Social aspect is definitely not there, yeah.
So that's been hard, like trying to find like the reason to get up. But if you put yourself out there and it's like, but if I do this today, I could do even better tomorrow. Like, I know what I'm doing today, and then I will use this tomorrow to make this better. Like, this didn't work for me today, but tomorrow I could try even better, right? Like, I'll make a cupcake. I didn't like how it turned out. Okay, that's fine. I'll start over and try again until I
Make
get
some
it.
tweaks and changes,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, like, knowing what doesn't work for you and trying to apply that into finding something that does work for you is something huge for me. And also, like, in terms of growth, like, you can't always be the same person you were. My grade 5 teacher told me, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
Oh,
and that's
nice,
always
yeah.
stuck with me because if you continue to do the same things, you'll never see change, right? And it's important that we see change in our daily lives because, the world is changing around us and we need to change with
Yeah.
it, right?
Especially with the pandemic now, it's a
Exactly.
huge change where before I was getting like, a lot of bookings on the weekend, I was busy with school, you have like a lot of outings, you have a very busy life.
Exactly.
And now it's like you get time to kind of spend with your family, you get time to relax. Like I am actually able to sleep a lot more now, find time
For
to do
sure.
that, exercise, go be fit. So
Yeah.
with a lot of change, like definitely comes with like a lot of growth
For
as
sure.
well. Really,
And
really
it's
cool.
not always easy to like get up and know you want to do growth. Like for sure, like especially in times like this, there's always mental factors playing in. Like there's always things going on in your life, and a lot of them you can't control, and a lot of negative things come to your mind. But it's all about learning from them. Like
Yeah.
if you take your negative experiences and turn it into something positive, it becomes worth it. Like a lot of things you go through, they're gonna hurt and they're gonna
Definitely.
tear you apart. Like there's some certain things that I've been through that I know I wish I would never experience again, but at the same time I do, because like, you know, I've been through it, but I've grown and I've become another person because of it, right? So like, you don't just sit through it and cry and just hope that it gets better. No, you feel it, and then you understand why you felt that way, and you use it to push you to be a better person.
Comprehension
right?
is definitely very, very important. You can't just be cold to it and just say, okay, it just happened, and that's just kind of that.
Yeah.
And you just let it happen. You have to kind of understand.
Exactly.
And want to understand as well. You can't just have it absorb and then it just passes out your ears. You gotta, you know, absorb the information that's happening.
Yeah. The world's changing around us, so you gotta adapt with it.
Yeah, adaptability, super important. What are some obstacles that kind of came up that, like, apart from the cake business and those kinds of things, just like intrinsically, what are some things that kind of came up?
Being away from my family, I think that's the worst thing ever, because most of my family is in New York and Guyana and Florida, so we're used to all meeting up all the time in New York by Nanny's house or anywhere, just to make sure that, you know, our family sticks together. Like every time we meet up, we have a huge party in the backyard, just us, and it's just our family, right? And just like being there late at night, my cousin's making jokes, the kids entertaining us, stuff like that. Like, we miss being with our family. And as much as we do get to like do things like FaceTime and our Zoom events, like we've been doing a lot of our Zoom gender reveals, because stuff like that, like our Zoom parties, things like that.
Still be in
for sure. It's there, but at the same time, it's not the same as being with them. Like, you miss being like able to give them a hug. I miss Nanny's food. I miss things like that. So that's definitely one of the biggest things, because not knowing when you're gonna get to see your family again and not being able to see them is definitely something really hard.
What about with school? Have you had any obstacles come up with school recently?
I think that online makes it extremely difficult to learn. Like, I prefer like the social interaction, so like I would rather be in school and learn, but I don't think it's safe enough personally to be there. So like I learn better in class, so I've been seeing the repercussions from that through my grades. Like, if I see something, and my expectations are very high for myself, so if it's not something I like and I'm going through it, I'm like, darn, it's not working. Like, what do I do? But then, you know, we figure it out and we move on from it.
That's good.
So we're trying to learn from that.
Awesome. Very, very nicely put. So one last question for you. I want to know about maybe people or experiences that have motivated you in life.
So for sure, Mom and Dev and my entire family, actually, especially Aji and my dad, they help me a lot in terms of the business. Aji helps me clean as much as possible. Like, I'll be baking, I'll be like, oh, it's okay, leave it, I'll wash it as soon as I'm done this set. She's like, no, I'll wash, you'll do it, we're okay. So she definitely helps me a lot in the kitchen. And then Dad is also there. He's like, are you okay? Do you want me to help you box these at a time? So, you know, like, I have a good balance of help in my home, and I have a lot of support from everyone, especially from you, from the music community, from my school community. I have a lot of support. Like, when I first launched the business, everyone reshared my posts and like told people to comment and to go, you know, check out my page, and that's something I never imagined. Like, I wouldn't picture being here today, but I definitely think it's because of all the support I got from everyone, especially my family. So that's one thing, and I do think like an experience that's changed me was like my baby nephew's passing. In December, he passed away due to like GM1 gangliosidosis. It's a neurological disorder. So that definitely changed my life, because he was a preemie and he got over all his preemie stuff. So seeing him change from a little baby to like a grown-up boy, like, it warmed my heart that like ever since the day he came into this world, he fought, right? So like he pushed and seeing him grow was like me seeing that anyone could put in that strength, right? Like, as a little kid, like anytime he was at the hospital, he had smiles on his face. Like, we have so many pictures of him, but he's always smiling. So it's like my reminder that no matter what you go through, smile through it and you'll get over it eventually, right? So when I went to New York to sit with him during a few of like his last moments, like, I saw a lot of things with him that pushed me to be a better person. It was just like the simple, like, with him holding onto my finger, like him grasping, like things like that. It always made me feel loved and warmed, and I wear his name on my neck all the time just as a reminder, like, you know, he's the person that came into this world and fought till his very last. So it reminds me every day that I smile through what I go through, and I should at least try to, you know, put strength into everything I do.
And this was in the pandemic circumstances.
Yes, it was.
It's really hard dealing with all that.
Exactly.
You have weddings, you have gender reveals, as you said, like all that kind of stuff.
But a Zoom
the
funeral
total
is
opposite.
different.
Like, I never expected to be seeing like a casket on a screen, and like you're like, for us, we sing and stuff to
exactly.
you know,
it's definitely not the experience you'd hope for, because actually not until now I realized the importance of funerals. It's your closure. Like not being able to be there with your family is a hard aspect because you need them. Like you don't really picture it, but when you see them through the phone and you're talking to them and they're all there, they're at least somewhat okay because you know they have each other, but we're alone here, right? And like just to be there for them and to have them with us, it makes a huge difference. And funerals, I definitely think they are a sense of closure because you know you're there and you, as painful as it is, you get your closure. But like up until now, like it's hard to believe that it's real because I wasn't there, right? That's that.
Yeah, it's definitely a very weird world that we live in now.
For sure.
Yeah. So do you have any closing remarks for me?
I definitely say that follow your dreams. Everyone, like anyone could tell you that it's not possible, but listen to them and prove them wrong. Right? Like a lot of people are like, oh, you're just 16, like, you know, don't have too much hopes for it. You can do it like here and there, but you're in school and it's in a pandemic, like, you know, don't set your hopes up high.
You definitely prove them differently. Like you are killing it. Like I know you're very busy. Obviously you said you have so many orders, you're pushing all the time, and that's very, very inspirational for sure. So
I do agree with the fact that people are going to have their opinions on you and they will tell you you can't do it, but it's up to you to prove them wrong. Like you're never too young, you're never too old. Just follow that dream of yours and just keep going. You never know where it'll take you.
Age doesn't matter, nothing of that matters as long as you're persistent and you're determined on your goals. Very, very nicely said.
Thank you.
Awesome. So thank you so much for being on the show, and all the best to you on your ventures.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you again.
Awesome.